tired you like.
What are you doing? Okay, I'm calling this meeting to order. This is a capital outlay meeting. Today's date is March the 4th at 4 p.m. on 2025, and we're in conference room number 1. And the meeting has been called to order. We've taken the roll call. All are present except for Tim Brown. And we have some amendments to the agenda. 6C is going to be Ms. Vaughn and Ms. Fuller from the Public Library, Coffee County Library is going to speak to us. That'll be item 6C. Item 7C is going to be Pam McKinney. Is she here? Yes, ma'am. There you are. And she's asking for permission to use the courthouse lawn for the same thing they do every year with the market group. So I'm going to ask for approval of the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve this agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Hollingsworth and second by Mr. Watkins. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All approved. Has everybody read the previous minutes? I appreciate Frank getting it out so quickly. And I have read it, so I'm going to let somebody else take care of doing a motion to approve it.
To approve the minutes.
Motion been made to approve the minutes of a previous meeting, which was last Tuesday.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on it? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Thank you, Frank, for getting them out so quickly. I know it was a quick turnaround for you. Okay. So that's done. Do we have any public comments? Let me see that sheet, please. Ms. Fuller, we've got you on the agenda now, so we're not you don't have to come up here and speak right now. I'm gonna put you on, and how about a Jennifer on the animal control facility?
Right there.
You wanna speak now?
Sure, I've never been to one of these.
Okay, well, you
Welcome.
get to come up here in front of us, and you get to speak in this microphone right here.
Good.
Do we wanna,
Just had a foot procedure.
Mayor, can we put one over there, please? It's pretty good. I got the mayor working for me for a change. Thank you, Mayor. If you would just go over there, that'd be fine.
Does she mind?
Her name is.
All right. Since I've never been to one of these, I'm not much of a public speaker, so I hope I do okay. I'm a little nervous. There is something that I care about here that I brought a few people with me. Some Coffee County cheerleaders are here supporting the animal control issue. We moved here a little over a year ago. I've lived in 4 different states, all throughout different areas of the country. We love Tennessee, we love Manchester. I have very few complaints other than I-24. It's crazy, it's like a death trap. And the number of stray dogs and animals here absolutely breaks our hearts compared to the other parts of the country that we lived in. Like, we are horrified with the situation here. So we had 2 dogs, and then my daughter, who's 18 now, she wanted her own dog. And so we looked at rescuing, of course. There was no other choice for us because of the problem here. And we ended up going to the Coffee County shelter. So we firsthand got to experience and see the facilities and the dogs. And frankly, we were just really, really disappointed. They don't even seem to have space for their offices. I haven't been to a lot of shelters, other than we did end up getting our current dog, 'cause she really wanted a Chihuahua, at the Fayetteville shelter. That one, even though it was small, it seemed to be a lot better, because they had an older house, and yeah, it was older, but they had office space, and they didn't seem so like impacted and crowded and things. So I saw Vera's post on Facebook and kind of rallied, put us up on a bunch of Facebook groups and stuff, and I thank everyone for coming here, because I really, really think that these animals, you know, their owners die, and they don't get to choose to be homeless. I'm gonna cry. They're so innocent. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not a people person fan. I used to like people, but there's a lot in this world. A lot of bad, but there's a lot of good too. But I much prefer animals over people. So yeah, please, please help them. They need help. Sorry.
Thank you.
I get emotional.
Thank
Well, that's
okay.
really great.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate that.
They're good therapy. Let's just put it that way.
Well, somebody who has three rescue dogs, I understand what you're saying. I believe it. I don't think there's a committee in this county that's more for an animal shelter than what this committee is right here. So we're just bear with us. We'll get there. Okay, next on the agenda is our unfinished business, which is reviewing the bids for approval for the health department. That'll be the first item on 6A. And all the hurdles have been taken care of, all the protests have been taken care of and been resolved. We've been in contact with our attorney. He is fine with proceeding ahead, and we just need to have our, you want to speak, Scott? So we go from there?
Sure, I'm going to hand out a bid tabulation, which is on the second sheet, and the first sheet is a recommendation letter. That in summary is recommending the award to Boyce Ballard Construction for $3,448,000.00. And that is, they are the low bidder, as Mr. Chairman said, worked through the one issue related to the bids, and I understand the county attorney has cleared that issue up, and so we're recommending this award. The bid tabulation on the second sheet total list every bidder as well as their alternate items 1 and 2 on each item. So as you see through, we had some very competitive bids. They were a close range on the bottom 3, but Boyce Ballard is the low bid at the $3,448,000.
Okay, everybody's seen the recommendation from St. John Engineering. Does anybody have any questions? We need a motion then to approve the low bidder as recommended for the health department facility.
Make a motion to select Boyce Ballard Construction, which is a low bidder.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Hollingsworth, second by Commissioner Watkins. Any discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. We're going to get us a health facility, folks. And I'm tickled to death over it. It's been a long time coming. Phew. We do. I appreciate everybody's patience with it, from the county people, for the people who use that facility, from the workers that work in the health department field. We have worked very closely with them, and I know, and the mayor's been involved, several of these members on this board have been involved, and we do appreciate everybody's help on it. All right, let's move to number 6B, discussion for the bids for the animal shelter. Scott, do you want to lead this?
Yes.
Please.
I'm going to, similar to the last one, hand out a bid tabulation, a recommendation.
Hey, before we get started on, Mr. Mayor, do we have to send that health department to a full commission to be voted on? We've already approved it through budget and finance.
It'd be a budget item, correct, Mariana?
It's already gone through budget and finance.
So then the approval would be through the full legislative body, correct?
On the health department, do we need to send that to,
No,
full
no,
commission?
we've already had that approved. We've had a budget set for quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I know it doesn't go through that part of it. I didn't know if it had to go through the full commission.
We needed a
For a vote?
Yes.
Okay, well, we don't have to have, okay, good deal. That's done.
Okay, so you have in front of you now the bid tabulation and the recommendation letter, as well as a copy of an email from Romac that was received at 3:45 today. So, kind of recapping, as you're looking at the bid tabulation, we had 9 bidders. Pricing was, again, it was very tight. The grouping on it, the Romac was at $1,794,000 even. We had an additional next bidder, Brindley, was at 1.857, and then they went up $2,065,000, and then up to 2.8 million. There was some issues, as you all know, that we have been working through related to the bid envelopes and some of the subcontractor pricing, the subcontractor listing that was shown on the envelope as required by state law. And Romac had listed a Thiessen Electric as a subcontractor for electrical, and they have to list the license number. The license number was actually for Titan Electrical. So we did ask for the county attorney to review that, but then we have further looked into it. Yes, Thiessen Electric was listed. Titan license limits as well as their license number was listed. We today began trying to get a letter out of Romac stating that they have contacted Titan Electric and that they would be the ones doing the work under Titan Electric instead of Thiessen Electric. But as the day progressed, as of about 3:30 on a phone call, Romac have not been able to get a hold of Titan Electric, and so they submitted an email just a few minutes ago listing Prodigy Electric, which was a subcontractor listed on some other bids for electric, and they are stating that they will honor their price as submitted. So, I will add that many times we award bids to the low bidder, and then we will require, after the fact, if they want to change subcontractors, then we make them put that in writing to us. We review qualifications, and we would then issue an approval of a substitute of a subcontractor. So, to some degree, that's what is going on here, but, we do have the issue of what was listed on the envelope. So, I know Mariana, I guess, did not really get a final wording from from County Attorney Mark
I did.
Williams. Did you? Okay.
Yes. it was
Okay.
confirmed.
He considers that a very minute technicality, and that if they had all the other information correct, that Titan is the license number, correct?
Correct.
But Thiessen, it was an error on the contract, because he had his list of contractors, and I'm sure Titan and Thiessen was in alphabetical order. Therefore, he said, our attorney said, since it was such a minute technicality and that everything else is there, but what I'm hearing now is Romac does not even want to use Titan,
That's correct. They've said that they've been trying to.
nor Thiessen.
Correct. Yes.
They're wanting to use a higher bid than what they had, actually what they're gonna do.
Right.
But not charge, but not cost us any more. than what their contract.
They're gonna honor
They're gonna
the
eat the- they're gonna eat the
subcontractor's
cost.
price, correct?
If you can look
Yes.
at it as you're awarding it based on them having Titan there, and then they would submit a formal request to us to substitute
substitute,
out
yep.
for Prodigy is what we
Okay.
would do.
Which technically they have by this letter.
They have been informative to you all by way of this email, but we would go through that process.
We still have to go through that process.
Right.
So does this body need to make a recommendation contingent upon that process, or we're good just to move on with the number we have and
Typically
approve the
not.
project?
Typically, that's just a construction administrative item to
Mhm.
make that substitute. So you would just go ahead and, if you're good with the award based on the technicality of the Thiessen versus.
You're okay with it, right?
Yes.
Okay, my recommendation is that the body actually approve it, Romac as the general contractor for this.
Okay, we have a recommendation from the mayor, but we need a motion to,
I'll make it.
okay, we have a motion made by Commissioner Watkins to approve
I'll
Romac
second it.
and seconded by Ms. Tina Reed. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion approved. Romac
Mr.
is-
Chairman, may I make one comment to the crowd? Guys, I wanted you guys to know that the health department bidding process and the animal control bidding process were running simultaneously. And we felt like we needed the health department bids. If you guys noticed, the high bid was almost double what the awarded contractor bid. Had that trend been all the way through the bidders, we would have run out of money. I put it this way. Right now, our budget, the budget for the animal control comes in, we're about 1 1/4 is our budget, so our bid is 1,750, and we have enough reserve through the sales of surplus properties that there's not gonna be a problem for Coffee County taxpayers to make up the difference. So I just want everybody to understand what was going on and how there was a lot of dynamics there and some fears that we might run out of money, but we have not.
I have to ask a question, how much bigger is the new shelter gonna be? How many more dogs, and what is gonna be the difference between what they have now and what they're making?
And will they keep the same amount of staff, or will they be able to hire more, or bring in help, volunteers?
If I may,
Go for it.
and I'll let Craig Boyd is sitting on the front row, our Cracker Jack director out there. The fact that we are now not in what we would call a partnership, if you will, the city of Manchester always had an issue with volunteers, just normal citizens coming in there, and you sort of can't blame them because it's shoved in there with all the construction equipment that maintains the streets of the city of Manchester. Therefore, moving it out on our own property, which has been graciously donated by Tom and Karen Rice, we will have the ability, provided our insurance company is okay with it, and I think we've already established that, but we will verify that volunteers will be able to come and go. And I'm sure there'll be some protocols that will have to be put in place, and Craig can help us with that. Craig, answer on the number of pens as opposed to what we have, which,
I think indoor-outdoor runs, we're gonna be at 30, we're at 22 right now. But there's additional space inside the building, we'll be able to put rolling cannons, we'll end up the number like 40 or 50,
Yeah, I think you can get,
Basically,
if you,
use rolling cannons.
with
for smaller
those
dogs.
kind of modular units where you can stack the smaller dogs.
Yeah.
Far from an indoor outdoor, I only understand that, but
Right.
it gives you some flex space to kind of move things around. But yes, you're right, 30 indoor outdoor, that's correct.
Now, will this separate the Manchester shelter from the Coffee County shelter? Will they be two different places now instead of.
At this time, they will be two separate facilities.
Excuse me, but has there been any discussion about the county taking over the city's operation once this new facility is built?
I can't deny that there's been discussion, but not lately.
Okay.
It would have been prior.
I can tell you that I spoke to Joey Hobbs within the last 30 days. His offer is still on the table, $100,000 from the city to go to the county if the county takes over all of animal control. And that was within the last 30 days.
There's a lot to be considered,
Right,
but
and
yeah.
that's stuff you guys gotta work out, but the offer was on the table.
Would you mind another question from the floor?
Go ahead.
Now that you've selected a construction company, and apparently the money is not an issue, are there any deadlines that are looming that affect whether or not those funds will still be available or will lose any of them? I only ask that because I keep hearing stuff like that.
Mary
I don't
Ann
know what the
can
truth of the matter is.
I don't know that there's any, is there any issues with that? I don't
No,
think so.
we don't have any issue.
What about ARP money back to the state by a
Okay,
certain date?
let me
I'm asking
explain
about
the
that.
ARP.
Speak into the microphone, please, Mary Ann. I want everybody to hear this.
Okay, originally, when cities and counties throughout the United States received the funding from the federal treasury, there were stipulations on that money that it had to be, for these specific projects. But as time went on, because you have a lot of smaller communities that do not have the staff to manage a project that has federal dollars in it, it's different. It's totally different reporting, as Scott can attest to. It just creates another layer of government that these smaller communities cannot deal with. So what the federal government, the Treasury, did was say that if you got $10 million or less, you can keep the money, do whatever you want with the money. So back in December 2022, the county had a list of projects. They were approved at the commission meeting, and that's what we have done. The reason why it's called ARPA is, for me as the accountant, the way that I can identify those funds, it had a specific account number. And if you look in the state chart of accounts that I have to use, that's how it describes it. So it just says it's ARPA, but there are no restrictions on that money. We actually got around 10.9 million, but we used a part of that. It was 2,165,000 on the county-wide 911 system with the radios. It was a project. So if you take the 10.9 minus the 2,165,000, we are under that limit. So we have no responsibilities to refund any of our county funds back anywhere. We can do what we want to with it. So,
Thank you for clarifying.
you're welcome. I know there has been a lot of questions about it, but yeah.
And that was my big
Uh-huh.
question, is how it worked. Because
Right.
I used to be a federal bookkeeper. so
Uh-huh.
I
Well,
understand the
yes.
guidelines of how
Right.
you all have to do that.
Yes.
And I knew that it was almost 11 million that you received. And I know that the animal shelter money, it was a stretch for you to give that money, for that money to go there. And I appreciate you guys doing that.
Yes.
It means a lot to the community.
Right, and the board and the committee, that we all felt the same way, and we have really worked really hard to get this done, and we have had to jump through some hoops and make everybody understand what we're trying to do.
I appreciate
And we have quite a few other projects going too, like this health department, that does have ARPA money, but it's the state portion, not ours, so that's kind of complicated, some of these things.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome.
And did I understand correctly from the last meeting that your anticipated start date on this is gonna be sometime in May?
That's what Scott and I discussed, and Aaron. It's probably going to be somewhere around the 1st of May. I'd like to see it started earlier, but, it's just logical, just what they may be
And
getting
how
into.
long will it take to build it and have it ready?
They have 200, 240 days to build.
And what help do you need?
What help we need? We need everybody in this room to donate $1,000
Before you leave.
before you leave.
Surprise.
Yeah. We take anything. We need the public behind this, for sure. If anybody out there wants to donate that's listening, all they have to do is come and see the mayor, come to his office, or come to Mariana's office, and they donate straight to this fund.
There was some type of memorial donations that we could make in memory of
Yep.
people and animals and things.
We are,
I think you would get a lot from that.
we did have, that set up when the Mayor Matheny passed, and we're handling that in the same manner. I do have a governmental letter that I can give you where you can file it with your taxes. So you should be able to get, that reduction on your taxes. Because we're not a nonprofit, we're a government, but we're
Right, but it
also,
still works, that.
yes, and I do have that letter. So yes, we will be happy to accept donations. I'm also keeping up with what we get on that, and we're hopeful to get more.
Okay, that being said, that is done. All right?
May I suggest, Mr. Chairman, if you guys are interested in listening to a couple of other proposals, from our circuit court clerk and our library, please feel free to stay seated. But if you guys are satisfied with what we've done with animal control, maybe if you wanted to leave, now be the time to quietly leave instead of during other business.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple minutes.
Thank you guys for showing up.
Thank you.
Scott, I forgot to put a microphone in front of you, so I need you to stay here and repeat everything you said.
It's been a long time. We're happy.
I want to thank you all.
Thank you.
I know, I've been here since 2006. I know.
I wanna see where we're at, I think we're fine.
Vera, okay, yeah. You have a nice article in
I don't think I said we don't do that. Okay, thank you. Hey, Rick. Thank you, sir.
So that maybe I can start
Finally,
cost clinic to go.
man,
Oh,
it's been a journey.
yeah, we're just thankful. Finally.
Is it not hot for you or what? I'm thirsty. Okay, let's go ahead and get back,
Heard my name.
let's get back to order. We're gonna go ahead and get this meeting back to order, and,
Thank goodness.
I think she's, is she not connected?
Retired now.
Are you connected, Polly?
Item number 6C, Ms. Vaughn and
Plug in here.
Ms. Fuller, would you like to come up?
Do you want to sit in my chair?
Yes,
I can
Or do
turn
you-
around.
Okay.
I mean, I can go over here. Well, I just hope you have enough time to get ready.
Man, my heart's racing. I'm so excited. I'm excited.
Okay.
I need a mirror.
Hello.
Yeah, no signal.
No, not yet.
Bingo.
Hogging this.
Voila. Sugar shot.
That popcorn.
Well, I very much appreciate you all adding us to the agenda today. And, okay.
I'll take care of it.
And last year, some of you were on the committee, and at that time, and Polly came and presented to you and asked per protocol if we could pursue the possibility of putting murals on the library. And so we have taken about a year, and we have gone through the process and gone through the process of, we wanted to make sure it was an artist from Middle Tennessee. And so we reached out to about a dozen artists, and 6 responded. We chose 3 and interviewed them, and we have chosen Mr. Michael Cooper from Murals and More. He's up in Franklin, and he met with us in a lot of months of back and forth. And so what we have done is, this is the first panel, which actually was an idea from my husband, who was the chairman at the time when we first got this idea, because we wanted to be innovative and find innovative ways to invite people to the library and to let them know it's here and it's a resource. And also, we wanted to make sure people knew that Coffee County and Manchester valued education. So, if you are driving down the 41 and you're stopped at the traffic light there at Food Lion, this is what you will see. And you will see, one little boy's on an iPad with just, we want it to look like you could just walk right into the library. And on the other side of the entrance, you will see Tom Sawyer is there whitewashing over the books. Now, Polly, if you could go to the next panel. The next panel, on the other side of the entrance, you will see what we call the adventure panel. And you have Lucy from the Narnia series walking through the door on the yellow brick road. You've got, we've got things from different adventures. You've got Oz in the background. And the water from the Narnia picture frame is running down, and then the next panel, which will be on the other side of the staff entrance, is, Polly, if you go to the next for me. Okay.
There it is.
There it is, okay. We have the nautical. And the biggest thing you'll see is the shark. Now, the interesting thing, our shark is not like other people's shark. The shark has the book deposit. So that's the book return. And you'll see things from, the
Everybody know what she's talking about?
Yes,
This is where they drop books back off? That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
The kids are gonna go crazy,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
They drop
Yes.
the book in the mouth of the shark.
and you'll see characters from 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You'll see the Nautilus. You'll see from Moby Dick. You'll see our whale. And then, Polly, if you could go to the next panel for me.
Which is the,
Yes, the next panel is, we have a privacy wall, and the privacy wall that has air conditioners behind it, that is our bookshelf of services that the library has. So we have computers, movies, study areas. You have the little golden book with story hour. So we have, there are different services there. And behind it, you will see people on flying books, because we want kids and people's imaginations to be piqued. And then our next panel, you will see, Polly will give a little close up. If we have anyone who likes westerns, any Louis L'Amour fans, we have a western panel. And you will see that the first cowboy is reading a book as he is riding his horse.
yeah, we made him do that.
Yes, we specifically asked for that. Yes. And then the next panel is on the, no. Well, you can get a glimpse of it there. The next panel is what we call the fairy tale panel. And so you have Rapunzel's Tower, you have Jack's Beanstalk, Hansel and Gretel's house, you know, Cinderella's
Is this
shoe.
viewed from the parking lot?
Yes.
This side? Okay.
Yes.
Thought I read
Yes,
that.
this is from the parking lot. And you will see some books. You see some open books and some book, and we wanted this to be to have some interactiveness to it. And so people are going to be able to stand in front of, you'll see the books that are in an X, they kind of make wings. So kids can stand in front of them and have their pictures taken. And we actually have two that are the open books and one in the wings. We've asked him to switch that, so we'll have two angel wings. So kids of different sizes can stand there and get their pictures taken. And one looks like they are reading the book on the wall. So these pictures you see are the last pictures that he has sent us. And he sent us a surprise. And so we did not expect this last panel on the front. On with the teddy bear, which we actually have asked him to take off the teddy bear, and we've asked him to make a change in that one, so there will be a librarian doing a story hour with some children, because that's something we do every week. Yeah. And so that panel is going to be different. And so, but this gives you an idea of our plan. And so per protocol, we are here asking you, oh, and by the way, just a reminder, this mural costs the taxpayers nothing. No county money will come toward this. It is all from library committed funds. So, but may we please have permission to put mural on the exterior of this building?
Okay, you heard the presentation. Need a motion to approve the murals that they've presented to us.
I'll make a motion to approve as they presented.
Second.
Motion made, Commissioner Hollingsworth, and seconded by Commissioner Watkins. Any discussion?
May I ask?
Yes, sir.
Did the artist actually visit and look at the building?
Yes.
Okay.
He has been
And
here,
he's
he has taken
satisfied with the
pictures.
surface of the building that he has to work with?
I'm glad you brought that up. Because I want to give you all another thank you. I know at the end of the year, beginning of the year, Rick came to Polly about, capital projects, and Polly, being as prepared as she is, had a list, and one of them was the exterior of the building needs painted. And so thank you very much for approving the painting of and Rick had told Polly that part of that painting would be doing few little repairs that need to be done on the surface. And so, yes, to answer your question, once the surface is painted, he finds that the surface is fine. But thank you for approving the painting of the exterior.
What did we approve so far? 'Cause I'm pretty sure I just had a budget amendment.
It's the 10,000
Yeah,
that he gets for doing the renderings and all that.
for doing the before it's put on there, or?
Yes, for all that he's been sending us, updating the drawings,
Okay.
measuring, all the time that he thinks it's gonna take. And that was, a $10,000 upfront,
Okay.
which goes to the
Right.
total cost
Yes.
of the project.
Yes.
So, when will you know what the total cost is? I
We
wanna go ahead
will.
and get it in the budget is where I'm headed. So
I'll let you know as soon as
that's
he
fine.
Yes, we will.
gets back to us on this.
Yes.
don't wanna forget. I like to
Oh, we
keep
won't forget.
ahead
We won't forget.
You think I
of
let you
the
forget?
committed funds, 'cause we have to balance those.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know what.
Okay, we got a motion and we got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion
That is
approved.
Really beautiful.
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Chairman,
really
We're
like it.
Mr. Chairman, I got something to say.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Hollingsworth's got something to say before you get up away from this table.
I think this is great stuff. I think this is like revitalization of our buildings. I think it's updating stuff. I think it makes it it catches your eye. It's just good stuff. I like it. So
Thank you
I
very
appreciate all y'all do.
Well, the sign out front that we did, what, a year and a half ago, or a year ago?
Well,
Or this
6
year?
months, yeah.
6 months ago.
Anyway, that's already caught my eye.
Yes.
Yes,
So, yeah,
Yes.
this is really gonna,
It's good stuff.
it's gonna stand
Yes.
out.
Yes.
yeah,
We are.
we'll be on
Thank
the
you.
news.
On that
We are
4 lane, it's
excited.
gonna stand out.
Yes.
Like it, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Glad I could get you on, because I know I didn't wanna hold you up another month.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
Okay, new business, Rick is not here tonight, so we're not gonna worry about the maintenance supervisor's report, because he gave us one last Tuesday. So we're gonna go to 7B, which is presentation from Jeannie Anthony. Ms. Anthony, you're up.
Thank you, thank you.
You got left. One right there. Mayor.
She needs
I don't
two.
need two. You're getting it.
One is enough.
That one's even turned off.
Not even know.
No.
Crazy.
Well, thank you so much for having me, part of your agenda today. We have some needs in our courtroom. Judge Lockhart was here, but he did have to leave due to time restraints. He had somewhere else he had to be, I understood. But we do have some requests. There's a couple things that we were looking into, but this is one of them. I think the other issue is being handled with the courthouse security committee.
Locks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I won't go there
Okay.
with that. But so this is what we're currently looking at, and really this is something that has been a need for quite some time, but we've just kind of held off. Of course, the talk of a new justice center and just trying to figure out, what the timeline was on that. So we just held off. But there are some recording issues, audio issues that we're having, and this has come to be when we're having jury trials is the main issue is in our circuit courtroom. Ideally, we would like to have all of our courtrooms set up the same so they're versatile, and we can have circuit court in another courtroom when needed. That does come up from time to time, and we do, use all of our courtrooms to the best of our ability when we have them available. So I have printed off a lot of things for y'all to review. This first just kind of gives you an overview of what we're looking at. Tells you our DCR recordings is what we currently have. We are currently under contract with them. It's a company called BIS. I believe Mr. Watkins is probably, I got one. He's familiar with that company as well.
Oh, yes.
Which company?
BIS Digital.
Okay.
Jody Holland is the rep.
Yes, and I've got more information I'll give you guys in just a second, but just kind of give you an overview of what we're looking at. Our last update at DCR recordings, and we're just talking about the recording part, which is just as important as the court file itself. These recordings, we have to keep them of record. And one of the courtrooms was last updated in 2007. And the other two courtrooms was last updated in 2009. The way they are, that's just for the recording. So there are microphones that connect to the recording system, and those are all functioning as far as picking the recordings up and the recording functioning properly. That's not so much an issue, but the amplifier, the sound, simply doesn't work. It is not compatible with our DCR recording system.
It was updated, I believe, and somebody can correct me, Frank or Mariana may know a little bit more of a date of when it was last updated, but I want to say it was probably around 2018. And it was purchased through KK Pawn Shop. It was used equipment, and it's very large equipment that sits under the judge's bench. It is very loud, which is also a problem during jury trials. The judge can't hear what the attorneys are saying. We have the jury box. The jurors, are having a hard time hearing because the microphones don't work, and that could be it could hurt a case when it's being presented. It could hurt a case on, we just came out of a 1.5 week medical malpractice trial. We had a doctor's livelihood, his career on the line. We had a family there that had lost a mother due to childbirth, and a lot of, when you're hearing cases like that, a lot of emotion is involved, and there was a visual issue in the courtroom where our podium is set up. We can't move it because of all the wires and the microphones attached. You can't, it's not mobile. And so it was blocking the view of the person, the witness on the stand. And so attorneys were having issues with the visual part of it, as well as being able to hear properly. So that's kind of the issue. I mean, it's a serious issue, and we've just kind of made do, but I do feel like we do need to do some updating and some changing to what we currently have.
Can I make a comment? And if it's not my place, just say
No,
so.
absolutely.
But I have been here quite a while with the county, going on quite a while.
Yeah,
And-
you know a lot of the history of
Yes.
things and when they were purchased.
And we have tried to piecemeal this together over the years, like with the KKs and
Yep.
this and that. And I think I may have mentioned at one meeting, I don't remember which one, that, and I've talked to IT, I've
Yes.
talked to Cindy.
I'm glad I know what direction you're going
Yes.
in, and that was going to
We-
be another thing that I was going to bring up.
Because we're not getting what we need.
Right.
One thing, we have courtroom security money as an restricted. I don't know off the top of my head what the balance is now. It's quite a bit. I think it'd be better to try to find a consultant to look at this information, go to the courtroom, talk to Jenny, talk to the judges, talk to Frank, because you know quite a lot about this whole history, and get
I have
Okay.
been speaking with Jody, and so that's where I was kind of going next. Was he's come and he's met with me and the judge and Judge Carter in the circuit courtroom, and I've got more information to give you all.
Okay,
out.
I just
that will,
wanted-
because that is an issue, because the problem is with the amplifiers being purchased through KKs,
Right.
kind of puts it on the county's responsibility to
Yes.
maintenance that, and to when we have a problem with those things, we call Cindy, and that's really not Cindy's
That's not
area,
her.
and she's already, she's our one IT, and she's
so
already
overwhelmed.
very overwhelmed. She already deals with me enough, and then
I mean, she's happy to help,
and she'll
but-
get phone calls from
right.
the clerks in the courtroom, and I think it just came up just last week when our juvenile courtroom was having issues, and she got a phone
Yes.
call, and she's like, "That's the recording system, and that's not me," but
Okay, well,
that's kind of where I'm headed.
So do you have a proposed remedy?
Yes,
Has Jody made a recommendation?
yes. So I will pass this all out to you.
so,
So I was just kind of going, I didn't want to throw a bunch of papers at you at once. I just kind of wanted you all to kind of see where we are and where we're kind of looking at.
okay, is BIS, are y'all comfortable with just using them, or do you want to look at?
I did
I mean,
have another company reach out to me that kind of does a similar type of service. Just last week. I haven't looked at it.
Hey, Jeannie.
Yes.
this is gonna take a minute. Can we interject somebody real quick?
I'm
to
gonna,
kinda get her-
make a pause
Sure.
on this item for just a moment. Pam McKinney, you wanna come on up and just go, I wanna get her out, because she don't need to sit here and, because this is a little bit longer than.
Had I been a member of the committee, I'd have said, move 7C all the way up.
I would have done that earlier, but I'm sorry.
That's okay.
She's quick.
Yeah,
I thought
Go ahead,
I was, but there's a lot that I want y'all to.
well, your stack is not getting any shorter, that's why I said, go ahead, Ms. Pam.
I'm just here to get approval to continue on with our community market that's held on the courthouse grounds, start in May and goes through October. This is our 12th year.
I make a motion that we approve her request.
I'll second it.
Do we get insurance?
I have insurance,
Okay,
yes, I have
good.
$1 million
Because I know
liability
we,
policy, yes.
They do that every
Yes,
year, so.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
good.
I can
So-
furnish you with a copy of that if you
You-
need
did
it.
you make a
Okay,
motion?
I think we have to
I'm
have
sorry.
it worded a
Seconded.
certain way, but, what's your
Yeah.
phone number in case I need to call you?
409.
Thank you.
Welcome. I keep up with you.
I need to.
And this is, what's the name of this?
Community market.
Community market.
Market.
Manchester Community Market, because this church up
Okay.
here has taken that name also.
Okay.
It's
There's a
in the
lot of
shopping
those
center,
around.
yes.
Manchester.
Manchester Community Market, yes.
So we have a motion by Frank Watkins and seconded by Ms. Reed. And any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
See ya.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pam.
I'm sorry.
Continue on, Ms.
And
Sheehan.
I apologize, Ms.
Y'all
Anthony.
switch gears fast.
Well,
Oh, we can do that.
I really should have not done that, but I should have fixed this in the beginning. Mayor's right. I should have done that. Oh, well,
Do
I've
we
done
have
it
an
before, haven't
application? Do we have like an application? that we can fill
I? Do we have an application they're supposed to fill out, by the
out? When
way?
you're
For
wanting,
the proposed use of
For-
property,
Yeah.
yeah, for any entity wanting to use.
to my knowledge, no.
Okay, because I think that's something we need to look at.
That's a
What-
possibility, yeah.
So just make sure, we're always, as additional insured on the certificates too, in case.
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay.
Jenny, is this cloud-based?
Yes.
The proposed system, is it physically stored on a
Yes.
server there in your office, or is
will
it
be-
cloud-based?
It will be cloud-based. It would be, because that was one of the issues with the key card server.
Yeah, no.
Because our DCR recordings were on that server,
Oh, yeah.
so we're in the process of getting those moved into NAS backup.
Right, and then go cloud-based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clarify, is it gonna be cloud-based only or both?
Well, as far as our backup it will be. It's not currently, but it will be.
Okay, back, I got it.
But, one problem leads to another. So this was this is the proposal. This is where we are, and something else, and why I highlighted it is because we are barely getting by as ADA compliant as far as our hearing assistant system. We don't really have a system. We have these
I think I have that somewhere.
devices that we offer to those that don't always work properly. There have been times where a judge has been on the bench and he's had to type things out and communicate that way, which that is not ideal at all. But this would put us being ADA compliant. This gives us an updated recording system. It gives us amplifiers that are much, much smaller. I don't know if anybody knows, Judge Lockhart is a very tall man. What we have now, it looks like the amplifiers we have.
It's an old PA system.
Yes, like you're ready for concert.
I'll tell you what it is. It's an old PA system that's just one link above having tubes in it.
I know it.
Yeah, and it's very loud. It sounds like a constant running fan, so it's right there by the judge, so they have a hard time hearing.
He's got his own heater.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
absolutely.
Well, actually, that did come up. Our judge got tired of hearing the noise, and he put his coat on it, and it got hot, and he didn't realize it, and yeah, that's a whole other,
It's another story.
that's a whole other thing. But it,
Does this have the capability of translating at all? Or is that possible?
that would be awesome, but
You know what I'm saying?
it
Oh, I know
doesn't
what you
have,
do, and
like,
on
as
that,
far
like
as language.
basically a language interpreter like Google Translate, no.
Yeah, that would be great, but.
I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
What's the What's the possibility of expansion? Is this a system that's gonna be around for a minute that there's room for expansion, not like our door system that we run out of rooms? and
Exactly, yeah, I
we're done?
definitely think so. This is the most current system that they
Okay.
have available. And then so I gave you a list of what we currently have. You can compare it to what they're offering us. And I'll pass this out to you.
So
It's-
this is the quote,
This is the
basically?
quote, the proposal for all three.
All three courtrooms?
All three courtrooms, the total, is at the top there.
What are you doing about the one up in, is this got the one on the square?
No.
No.
What are you doing there?
Well, we are trying to move away from using the
I-
courthouse on the square.
I'm understanding that.
Yeah, it's just,
Uh,
the wiring at the Justice Center is old, but the wiring
It's
at
not
the,
ADA compliant either.
it is not
you cannot
ADA,
get it.
and that
Yeah, there's
has
no
been
way
an
to
issue.
because it's,
Yeah.
there's no elevator, there's
Can't
no,
Yep.
nothing
Yeah,
like
just talked to
that.
an attorney about an issue about that, because one of our court reporters is, in a wheelchair, and the case got moved to the courthouse, and,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's an issue. But this would kind of put everything together. Obviously, it would be compatible, with each other, and that's kind of where we are now.
Question for Mariana, is this something that we could possibly do out of, capital project?
Capital projects with I don't know if that could be deemed courtroom security.
Well, this is kind of not,
No.
That's what
yeah,
I don't
not
think it is.
security. The
Okay.
key card
The
server
key
could
cards, yeah, the
be,
key
but-
card system
that-
would be able to be taken
Did
out
you
of the.
talk about that, or did I? I've
No,
had
you
that
did.
discussion
You
sometime.
kind of.
Well, we
spoke about
kind
it.
of mentioned that. Oh, I mentioned it at the very beginning,
Right.
because that is
Um,
another issue, but,
Yes, we
you know, I
can-
have my data fund, and so the
Uh-huh.
maintenance, the yearly maintenance, I pay that out of my yearly budget.
Right.
Like, I have also reached out to, BIS with concern, is this gonna make my maintenance go up because it'd be more equipment? But, honestly, he reached back out to me today, said, use what you have current, what we've quoted you for 2026, for now. He
So
was-
Jody said he would cover, if we went to this, Jody would cover the
what we
current
are
maintenance
currently under
and go ahead,
now.
and then it wouldn't change till 2027, basically.
It shouldn't,
Okay.
no, and I don't think, and it may not, with it being,
It's over the bid limit. That's
So
why
is
I
this-
was
Yeah.
concerned about.
Is there something to do with, since we're, like we did the air conditioners, since we currently have a maintenance
No,
agreement?
no, you have to bid.
Oh, we're gonna bid them too?
Yes.
oh, okay. And that's where I kind of was unforsure, since we're
Yes.
already under contract with this company already. I didn't know if, you would need
Well,
more
you're-
bids, but Cindy
yeah.
says she would reach out and definitely get me some more bids if need
That's
be.
what I was
Sure.
saying, if you had spoken with anybody else, because.
But we were thinking that since we're currently already under contract with
They're not
them-
under state
Yeah.
contract, are they?
No, I don't,
You might ask him if he's got Tennessee state contract.
Right. that would-
Actually, they do. Actually, they are, because our court reporters are under the state contract. We don't have anything to do with,
Just make
they have
sure
they
I
have the
would-
same company, they go through BIS as well, yeah.
I would ask him and just make sure that this is something that's compatible with the current
It
Tennessee
is.
state contract.
We've already checked into
Okay.
that, yeah, it is, because it's the
I can
same.
look that up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because we're buying equipment, and that's the same with the HVAC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they maintenance our HVAC, the deal, but,
Right,
You're
but I'm
buying
saying
the
if the
equipment.
equipment is on state contract.
so.
Yeah, the
No,
state-
no, I don't know if you heard about the discussion about the HVAC.
Oh, no, I
I'm
didn't.
kind of running it all together.
Yeah.
But since this is equipment,
The state was just currently, had come to update their equipment
Right.
probably about a month ago.
And they've got BIS.
They have
So I think
BIS,
they're on.
yeah.
I just don't want to get this all piecemeal together.
I
and they're
understand.
saying the
I ain't doing
same
that.
problems.
I'm not doing that.
throwing
Ask
the
Jody,
money.
Well-
if you'll ask Jody to provide you with the
Yeah.
state contract, she
Sure.
probably can.
I can
Yeah.
look it up too.
Okay.
I'm getting really good at that.
Okay.
So,
But, yeah, it has been pieced together, and I'm sure to save, but long term, It's just not, it's not functional, and it's causing a lot of issues. And, you know, it would put the maintenance under BIS and not the county, so Cindy wouldn't have to feel like she's being pulled.
How would we need to do that, Mary Ann, as far as a proposal from us? Would we need to move forward on contention that it's a state bid? If not, then go out
Just,
for bid?
you can just make the motion, you will fund the project. We'll check, my department will check to see if it's on state
State bid,
contract. You know, if not, we'll bid it.
Sure.
But we'll get it done. I just want you to keep having to revisit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I do have a data fund, like, that I use, but I did just purchase all new computers, a new server, and, some scanners, so. I don't have enough to cover the expense on this.
Did they indicate the availability of all of this? Is it like almost immediate? or-
He said it's probably about a 4 to 6 week,
Okay.
installation,
They're pretty quick.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, Judge.
I'll make a motion that we approve, the project up to $85,000 for the courtroom, new courtroom advancements for the sound system.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Watkins
Are we
to approve up
looking,
to 85,000.
are we looking into getting other bids, or your motion is that?
Well, like Mary Ann said, I'm just proposing that we fund the project, and then I put 85 on it since it's 84 and some change. And then she said they would check into seeing if it's on state contract, then there's no need, won't have to bid it, but if not, then they would bid it.
But you still need the funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta pass this part though to get the funding.
So are we
Approved.
sending this to Budget and Finance for capital outlay projects for this year's budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Y'all are supposed to be working on a list to give to Rick, to give to me, so we can sit down like I did last year and go through what has been proposed and what we're gonna put in the budget, the 2026 budget. Unless we have emergencies, obviously, we'll do that in between.
So if this is not under like our state contract, we'll have to revisit this, right?
We're still
Well,
gonna
no,
need the
you-
funding.
You just have to bid it,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
that we would
If
pass
it's,
it,
if it's not under state
contract. then
contract, you have to bid it.
We'll have to bid it.
Gotcha.
I mean, we'll try to get done as soon as possible, but
I only know of one other company, like I said, that had just reached out to me that offers this type of service. I think the majority of, the courts are under
BIS.
BIS. because
Everybody I talked
think-
to,
And because of it
when
being,
we did the
with
project for
state.
the, video court,
Yes.
everybody was at
Yeah.
BIS.
Yeah, and
so.
most all the clerks that I've spoken with, have this service. So I'm quite certain that it's under state.
which one was bought out?
That was our credit card company, which it
I3
was
Vertical?
also called BIS. Gets very
Okay.
confusing.
That's kind of why I was
Yeah.
concerned that, you know, that, there's
Um,
been a lot of turmoil with that a little bit. Not-
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, so, yeah,
We don't want to get,
I3 Vertical bought, which was also called BIS, which is our credit card system that we
Okay.
use, not related to our recording system.
okay.
Okay,
Not
we got a motion on the
Okay,
floor.
thank you.
Yes.
I'll second it.
We got a second by Commissioner Reed. Now, any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you so much.
Well, probably not to Jenny. It's been,
She has put a
20
lot of
years.
information together, and,
yes, and thank you.
Yes,
and
very
her time
helpful.
is, I know, very stretched.
Well, I know this is,
I did
But
this
thank
this
you.
morning.
it's just been a night.
Well, then, if you can do this this
you
morning,
rip that
I mean,
out
what
this
the
morning.
world?
Listen, y'all don't understand what my last few weeks have been like.
I've got the
so,
whole detail in my little,
This was easy for me to put together.
yeah, because see, I'd already talked to Cindy about it when you sent me that.
Oh,
And that's when you come by the other day.
Yes.
And Cindy was in my office. We were talking about,
Is everybody good with
So
that?
so
we
it
need it.
kinda includes everything, the whole
yes.
her issues
Mhm.
along with the same, our issues, that affects
Let's-
our issues.
Yeah.
Let's set our
Cindy-
next date, which will be April the 3rd at 4 o'clock, conference room 1. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
Good for me.
No, I won't be here, but that's fine. It's not my committee.
Good with you, Mariana?
She's good with it.
That's a Thursday, right?
It is on Thursday.
Because
of
Cindy
April
and
first.
I,
Do you want me to ask Jody for the state contract, or do you?
you can ask him, he may already have it. Most
Yeah,
of
he's
them know
probably
that
already got it, then he can just email it to
number.
you and then forward it to
That
her.
way you don't have to do
SWC.
a lot of research.
Yeah,
be great.
and then send it to her, please.
Because Cindy
be great.
also, we work together getting equipment replacement together, and that's what,
And I'll, go ahead.
we look at all
I was
this.
gonna say, I probably have worn Cindy out between our computers, our server, the key card server.
And for the committee that don't know, Jenny, speaking of the key card system, our key card system that
Oh,
is
yeah.
the doors
I have a note
that
on
allows
that.
access I won't say no more, it's full. You can't add another door, you
Mm-hmm.
can't get parts, that kind of thing again.
It's obsolete,
It
isn't it?
is very
Yeah.
obsolete, and then,
Frustrating, 'cause we just added
and then
some
they offered a,
That's why I wanted to make
basically
sure
a,
on the other one.
another system, I believe it was Honeywell, and that's technically going obsolete, so it's not.
Supported.
Yeah, it's not something that that the company that put that in
we don't want
offered
that.
that, so we don't want that. I believe Ben Loman has,
They have a,
sent a proposal to us that is a cloud-based system.
Yes.
That will allow a larger functionality and expansion, on into the future. That's gonna be a whole lot better, so whenever Jenny and Mariana get all that tabulated, I'm sure that'll be coming to us for that, but just to give you a heads up. So, I've talked to Cindy about it, and that's probably the way we need to go,
Well, I
for
just-
modularity.
one building, there's two parts to capital projects. One is Cindy's
Right.
stuff we need for the departments. Rick's, what he brings y'all, any other things that come up. So we try to get one big together.
And once we get the, security, I think it'll probably, yeah, that can go under it.
There's,
Oh, yeah,
there's funds there.
okay. Yeah, we probably need to have a security meeting and do that.
Do we need
And
a
I
new
would
person,
also recommend, probably, but I'd also recommend that once we get our camera project done at the jail, we might want to talk about new cameras. I know the judges have talked about that. That would integrate with those to where that would give us functionality between the two buildings in case of an emergency.
Did you look at that proposal that Craig Northcott sent? Or he had?
Oh, yes, I did.
He's going through a company, I think
Yeah.
it kinda intertwines with some cameras, I didn't know
Right.
how y'all
So-
felt about that, but.
Right, so we may look at that for some funding out of this courtroom,
Okay.
and probably have to add some, because they're quite expensive.
Okay?
Thank you, Miss Jenny.
We have one more last thing of business to do, and that's a motion to adjourn.
I make a
So-
motion.
Second.
Motion
Done.
made and seconded and done.
Dennis, don't run off, I gotta tell you something.
I'm out of here.
What's your name?